Mental note, watch Parker Lewis Can't Lose on Madelen.
Synchronisation des montres.
C'est toi, Parker Lewis?
Oui.
A generation that has not experienced Parker Lewis is a lost generation. I could not agree with that more. We were way ahead of our time for that show.
Museau en approche. Contact visuel établi. Cible localisée.
What's your favorite gimmicks and lines?
Not a Problem, I think, is probably my favorite one.
Musso te cherche partout. Aucun problème.
Attends, je vais te porter ça.
Coolness. Mental Note was a good one, you know. Mental Note, don't ever ask your girl to go on a date again. You know, whatever, you know.
Note pour plus tard. Il faut améliorer l'image. Les gars, je crois qu'on a monté le plan du siècle.
And are you still in touch with any of the cast?
Yes, with Troy Slayton, who played Jerry. Me and him are probably the closest. And then Abraham Ben Ruby, you know, who obviously played Kubiac. Everybody loves Kubiac more than Parker Lewis. What's going on here? Tim Stack, who played my father, I keep in touch with him.
J'ai pensé que ça vous ferait rigoler de voir ça, les caïds.
Alors ça, c'est la meilleure. Il porte une moumoute maintenant.
And Maya Bruton, who played my sister.
Pendant que j'y pense, je me suis servi de ton rasoir pour nettoyer mes chaussures.
T'as eu raison. J'ai pris ta brosse à dents pour nettoyer l'aquarium.
Out of the whole cast, those four I stay in relatively good touch with, but Troy Slayton and we actually text each other quite often on the, you know, he's a federal judge now.
Je suis désolé, mais Monsieur Kubiac n'acceptera jamais de négocier avec Donald Trump.
Like guilty, not guilty, which is like so fitting for him.
Mettez-vous dans la file d'attente pour qu'on vous donne vos tickets pour le super concert de Mireille Mathieu.
But France, they got it, you know, it's a very progressive country. They get the humor, and for some reason, France embraced the show.
Il faut que j'ai un dé où je vais me ramasser.
Bon sang, mais c'est bien sûr.
And Germany is like probably second in line next to France in terms of success of it and how many people followed it. Oddly enough, in Israel, it was like the #1 show. There was a group called the Youth of Tel Aviv that was kind of like a teenage singing group, you know? I showed up there to do an event with them, and there was like 300 teenagers outside of this event space, and I was pulling up in the van, and they're like banging on the windows. I was like, what am I, the Beatles? You know, it was mad.
Je me demande comment faisaient mes parents quand il n'y avait que le téléphone. Mais ça, c'était dans les années 70.
What's funny is our technology that we, you know, used in the show was kind of advanced for the 90s, but it's what's going on all over the place nowadays. If the new generation can get off TikTok for long enough to watch an episode of Parker Lewis, I think that they'll find it quite fun as well.
Viens tenir compagnie à Kubiac.
What's your favorite episode?
Ooh, that's a tough one. They all kind of blend together. There was one episode, there was a bunch of like goth kids, like, you know, all the black hair and the black jackets and the eyeliner and all this, and they had their own secret hideout in the upper areas of the school, and we'd have to get there through like a locker, and there was a secret hallway.
Vous n'avez pas intérêt à toucher.
And there was one called Radio Free Flamingo, where we had our own like pirate radio station.
Osez défier l'autorité et faites attention à votre cholestérol.
KFLM vous dit adieu.
Oh, the Jim Morrison one was hilarious. I was a big fan of the movie when it came out. So when they did that episode, I had the wig on and the leather pants. And Jim Morrison is buried here in Paris, so I'm gonna go see his grave on Monday.
Ce matin, dans un miroir, j'ai constaté l'atroce vérité.
Qu'il faut savoir s'accepter comme on est. Que notre physique n'est qu'une chose superficielle.
Non, mais que je suis allergique aux blousons de cuir. Regardez.
The forerunner of everything. Interestingly enough, the writer-producers from Parker Lewis both worked on Scrubs and Malcolm in the Middle. So you can see that there's a correlation there. And when I saw Scrubs, when Scrubs came out, I was like, why didn't I audition for that? I should have been in Scrubs. It was a great show. And great actors, though. They cast it very well. It's a melodramatic in a comedic way, you know? All the characters are very big and very specific, which is a lot of fun to play. When you play characters that are almost cartoonish, I don't think it would have been as successful if we filmed it in a very standard way, because the camera was like a comic book. I'll get called to the principal's office, shh, And then suddenly my character will go floating down the hallway, and I'll go around the corner and my hair will blow off to the side. They would roll me down the hallway with the camera on what's called a dolly. And then there would be a special effects person on the camera with a blow dryer, and they'd blow my hair off to the side and then turn it off again. It was mad. It was a very difficult show to film. We did a 22-hour day one time, but the outcome was perfect.
Toutes tes chemises.
The style, the hair, and everything was really from late 1980s, early 1990s hip-hop rap scene, where they had the Gumby high-top fade, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, wore all the wild shirts and everything, buttoned to the top with slacks and high-top, you know, sneakers. I really stole the look from that world that I was really into and created this, you know, a white version of, you know, of what that was. There's another movie called 3 O'Clock High with Casey Shamosko, and that's where we got our shooting style from for Parker Lewis Can't Lose. They said that's how we're shooting the show. And I was very concerned about, is this gonna be a sitcom? What is it gonna be? And they're like, did you see the movie 3 O'Clock High? And I was like, ding, I'm in.
Hi, Jerry.
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 Hi, I'm Jerry Mitchell.
Watch 3 O'Clock High and then rewatch Parker Lewis, and you'll make the correlation.
C'est super, aucune des punitions ne va être appliquée. C'est une bonne chose.
Ne vous réjouissez pas trop vite, Lewis.